Hey there and welcome to Scandal Steep. Bishop T.D. Jakes, a prominent Christian leader, has recently been linked to controversies surrounding Sean Diddy Combs' infamous private parties. These gatherings, often described as extravagant and wild, have reportedly attracted high-profile figures from various industries. Leaked footage and personal accounts suggest activities at these events are inconsistent with the public personas of some attendees. Rumors have surfaced questioning Jakes' attendance, leading many to reflect on the implications for his role as a spiritual leader. A former bodyguard of Diddy has criticized Bishop Jakes, alleging that his association with such events undermines the sanctity and moral standing of Christian leaders. The bodyguard questioned how a man of God could participate in parties rumored to include drinking, sexual encounters, and other behaviors considered sinful by Christian doctrine. He expressed skepticism about Jakes' intentions, suggesting his presence at these events tarnishes the image of the Christian faith. Some supporters argue that Jakes might have attended the events with the intention of guiding or influencing attendees spiritually. Critics, however, contend that his presence aligns him with activities that contradict his public teachings. As a Christian leader, Jakes is expected to maintain a clear separation from behaviors deemed unholy. Eyewitness accounts have added fuel to the fire. One individual claimed to have witnessed Jakes at Diddy's famed white parties in the Hamptons, which allegedly became more debauched over time. According to these reports, Jakes' presence at such events could blur the line between spiritual guidance and indulgence in worldly pleasures. The debate has sparked larger conversations about the expectations placed on faith leaders in the public eye. Should religious figures be held to higher standards regarding their associations and actions? Or is it possible for leaders to engage with secular spaces for the greater good without compromising their values? Further allegations against Bishop Jakes have emerged, including claims that his involvement with Diddy's parties might extend beyond networking. Reports suggest that his attendance raises doubts about his intentions, with some asserting that it reflects personal motivations rather than professional endeavors. Musician Jaguar Wright has claimed during interviews that Jakes' ties to Diddy's parties were not purely innocent. She and others have pointed out instances of questionable behavior by those in Jakes' inner circle, including allegations involving one of his children. Critics argue that these patterns cast doubt on his ability to lead with integrity. One of the most contentious claims involves speculation about Jakes using Grindr, a popular dating app primarily for gay and bisexual men. While representatives of Jakes have dismissed these accusations as baseless, their emergence has added a layer of complexity to the narrative. Grindr, known for facilitating casual connections, has been linked to accusations of inappropriate conduct against Jakes. Detractors argue that these claims tarnish his reputation and question his fitness as a spiritual leader. Meanwhile, Diddy has been embroiled in his own legal troubles, including allegations of sex trafficking. Federal investigations into his properties have uncovered potential evidence, further implicating others in his social circle. A recent lawsuit filed by musician Cassie has brought additional scrutiny, with Jakes' name appearing in some documents. These allegations have prompted widespread disappointment among Jakes' followers, who view him as a moral authority. Jakes has publicly denied any wrongdoing, emphasizing his commitment to his faith and the well-being of his congregation. During a recent sermon, he addressed the allegations indirectly, framing them as distractions from his spiritual mission. His statements, however, have not quelled public skepticism. Many critics argue that Jakes' responses avoid directly addressing the allegations, leaving room for continued speculation. The core issue lies in the perceived disconnect between his public persona and his private actions. Supporters have pointed to the example of Jesus, who engaged with sinners but called them to repentance and transformation. They contend that mere presence at controversial events is insufficient without a clear effort to inspire change. As this controversy unfolds, it highlights the challenges faced by high-profile religious leaders. Their prominence makes them vulnerable to both legitimate criticism and unverified rumors. The tension between maintaining transparency and protecting one's reputation is evident, particularly when decades of ministry work are at stake. Bishop T.D. Jakes' situation underscores the difficulties religious figures face when navigating the intersection of faith and public life. While some argue that his associations reflect a broader effort to engage with secular audiences, others see them as compromising the moral authority he represents. The controversy also raises broader questions about accountability and the expectations placed on spiritual leaders. Should they be allowed to engage with diverse individuals and environments without judgment? Or must they avoid any affiliations that could be construed as inconsistent with their teachings? Ultimately, the public's perception of Jakes will depend on how he addresses these issues in the coming months. Transparency and humility could go a long way in rebuilding trust, while continued evasion might deepen doubts. For now, the conversation about faith, leadership, and accountability remains as complex as ever.